Yo, 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 listen, man. Your boy H. Cortez here, also known as the Financial Health Mentor. I just got to brag on my team, right? See, I was almost about to say I got to brag on the Office Huddle Print Shop team, but no, really, it's my team. I got to brag on my team. Listen, man, if you are a solopreneur, especially, but really, if you're anybody who's in business and you need a team of graphic designers, content creators, funnel builders. I mean, a lot of the things that we need as entrepreneurs to take our business to the next level either cost us a lot early on in our entrepreneurial journey as we are having to hire people constantly to do the work for us and help us get some of these things off the ground. But Office Huddle Print Shop, man, provides a service, unlimited graphics, unlimited edits. They've helped me, and I'm going to show you here in a second. They helped me launch a podcast that has been in my mind for about 6 months. And you know what delayed me from launching that podcast? The thought of having to spend the money to create everything that I know I was going to need to make that podcast a uh, professional production, right? I knew I needed a logo for the podcast. I knew I was going to need a flyer to launch the podcast. I knew I was going to need thumbnails because the way I do my podcast, I do video podcasts. So I know that they were going up on YouTube and up on Facebook. I know I was going to need lower thirds. I knew I was going to need ticker tapes. I knew I was going to need um, various graphics for my guest features. And I just literally kept putting the launch date of this podcast off into the future because I didn't feel like creating that stuff myself. And I couldn't find it in the budget to pay a good graphic designer. But lo and behold, Office Huddle Print Shop has this package where you can get all of that stuff done. And I think this is the perfect program for any entrepreneur, but especially a solopreneur, right? I know there's services like Fiverr and Upwork and things of that nature, but listen, man, when I say I'm bragging about my team, that's exactly what it is. They assigned me a team of designers, and these guys have gotten to know me over the last few weeks, and now they kind of know what I'm going to need before I need it, right? And you can't pay enough for that. So let me just show you some of the things that they were able to create for me, and I'm just super excited. Now I'm about to launch the second podcast in my iHustle Media Group series because I know that I can get everything I need created. And did I mention they do all of this stuff super fast? It's like I submit a job to the Trello board, and I'm watching that job move within an hour. Let me just show you some of the stuff they created for me. All right, so here I am inside the main folder for the St. Louis Hustle podcast. As you can see, the logo that they created for me is super dope, right? Exactly what I needed. Love the colors. Man, these guys are phenomenal with their work. Did that in a day. Um, Took the logo and turned it into a image for our merchandising. So that is super dope. Of course, when you're doing anything, especially with me, I like to launch a brand that stands alone. So the St. Louis Hustle Podcast needed the YouTube cover for the St. Louis Hustle Podcast channel. That's myself and my co-host. The logo fits there. And this is the podcast YouTube channel cover, right? And then, of course, you need the Twitter cover. So, of course, we have Twitter. And you see the professionalism and the uniform way that everything fits together. And then, of course, we have to have the Facebook cover, right? So everything is professionally done, looks great. Now, across all platforms, when you see this image, you know that it is St. Louis Hustle Podcast, right? Then what about the flyer that I needed for my first show, right? This is the flyer that we use as a template. So now you can see I have my guest here, the name of her company and her logo. And then it says, you know, the St. Louis Hustle Podcast. So that's pretty dope flyer right there. But then if I go into the as I go into the folder for each particular episode, then you can see I needed some of the same stuff over and over. And guess what, guys? This is a weekly podcast, which means I'm always going to need good content. So here's the flyer that they created for this particular guest for our March 10th episode, right? I mean, just professionally done. If I had to keep doing this stuff over and over, if I had to keep hiring people every time I needed something done, I mean, it would just, the cost would get outrageous, right? Here's the YouTube thumbnail for that particular episode, right? So great work, good quality. Here is the thumbnail for the actual guest interview of that show. And I like to do something called content spinning, right? So what that means is I do my whole podcast and then I create all of these other smaller pieces of content from that main piece. And I need a thumbnail for all of that stuff. I don't have the time to do it myself. And I definitely don't have the resources monetarily to hire someone to do it over. So when I learned that they would do unlimited graphics, unlimited designs, unlimited edits for one low price, it just, man, it freed me up, man. Then look at some of the t-shirt mock-ups. To have a professional t-shirt mock-up like this, you know what this allowed me to do? It allowed me to pre-sell the t-shirts and raise the money to get the t-shirts printed because they were able to do the mock-up for me. So when I say this is my team, guys, that's exactly what it is. I have my dedicated team of professional graphic designers, a dedicated team of professional graphic designers, as well as copywriters, as well as video editors. And they created that for me because I'm a video marketer above everything else. But then I take my videos and I transcribe them. So I need a copywriter to help me make sure that it doesn't just look like a transcribed video. It looks like an actual blog post, right? And then I need the videos edited, chopped up, and created into micro pieces of content that's native to the various platforms. So they might take one of my podcasts and turn it into a 1-minute video that's perfect for Instagram. They might take a piece of my podcast and turn it into an Instagram story with the right graphics, with the right hook, with the right descriptions. I mean, I can't tell you how free I am of some of the things that I was limited in my ability to do myself. And then sometimes when your back is up against the wall, you go ahead and get things done, but the level of professionalism isn't there. Yes, I know how to use a program like Canva, a little bit with Photoshop, but not to the level of a professional graphic designer. So it just makes my brand elevate. I mean, literally took my brand to a whole nother level. So I want to thank Henry and his team. And what's cool is, guys, I didn't have to go out and hire these people, right? I don't have to manage these people. I don't have to pay the salary and do the quality control and the HR functions. No, Office Holder Print Shop did all of that, got me the team that I needed, and dedicated that team to me for all of the things that I need to build my brand with the vision that I have and the things that I'm doing. Now, you may not in your business, you may not be doing video, so you may not need that to be part of your team. You may not need a copywriter as part of your team, but I can promise you this. When you sit down with the Office Huddle Print Shop team, they're going to get to know you. They're going to assess what your needs are, and they're going to create a dedicated team for whatever it is that you do currently, but they're not going to stop there. They're also going to look with you ahead to see where you're going and start putting the pieces in place so that when you elevate to the next 1, 2, even 3 levels beyond where you are right now, they're already going to have that team in place. Man, thanks, Henry. Thanks, Office Huddle Print Shop. You guys are amazing. Just get ready because I'm about to load the board up again and let's get ready to launch this second podcast, man. And I can't wait to get your help on my funnels and my websites and everything else that I have going on. So if you are considering a graphic design team, if you're considering outsourcing at all, not just graphics, but whatever you need to get your business to the next level, I think you ought to take a look at Office Total Print Shop. Years and years, 3 decades of business experience, running teams, managing multi-million dollar businesses, so they can hire a team of professionals for you and dedicate that team to you and help you take your brand to the next level. I've already referred a couple people to Office Total Print Shops, and the reviews that I got back from those people let me know that it's not just me, it's all of the people that they work with are getting the same treatment, and that's important, man. So if you need a team, you're thinking about outsourcing, why outsource each one of those jobs individually when you can just outsource to Office Huddle Print Shop, let them build a team for you and get you everything that you need to take your business to the next level. I'm your boy H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor. Till I talk to y'all next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it, but more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you.